Salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Salam alaikum and good evening. Our viewers, obviously our co-host of the day, Brother Nazir Ali and Yahya Al Kasmia. Good evening to our audience, whether we're watching London or globally or in Bangladesh. So a very good evening to you on the 20th of December 2020. Another episode of Bideshi, episode 13, 5 days away from Christmas, a season of goodwill. And it is exactly what we're looking for today in this particular show. A very, very exciting show as we introduce to you the members of a new charity, or a rebranded charity from an old 10-year-old charity, the Global Development Foundation, and the very beautiful people that are involved in that particular charity, which I'm pretty sure is just going to go strength to strength from now up until next year and also in the future as well. Good evening to my co-host for the day, Brother Nazir, and also Brother Yahya, who just made it on time again. Salam
Good
alaikum and good evening.
evening. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, audience and
Assalamu
brothers in the
alaikum to
studio.
everyone who's watching all over the world, in the UK, beyond the UK. The year is almost coming to an end for us. We may have, I think, we may have one more show. If not, this may be we do have one more show, inshallah. So that's great to hear, and I hope everyone's well and everyone's safe. Wherever you're watching from, welcome to Bideshi Vibes, episode 13 on the 20th of December 2020. Time has gone so fast.
It has. Brother Nazir, good to see you again. The second episode in a row, I think.
I didn't know until about 10 minutes ago I'll be here, so it's all off the cuff for me, unfortunately. But inshallah, I will try my best. Obviously, you brothers are more experienced at this. I hope to take over one day, but that one day is still a long, long way away.
Well, I mean, there's another reason why you're actually on this particular show, because you know a lot about Global Development Foundation. And by the way, for our watching audience, this special episode is sponsored by Royal Caterers Events and Management. And in fact, they are sponsoring our Crack the Code challenge. And the prize this week is a red velvet cheesecake. Very beautiful indeed. So please do watch out for Crack the Code in about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes time about answering the questions. But once again, another weekend and another tier added and another lockdown. What are your thoughts? I mean, this is what we're now tier 4. We just need another couple of tiers and it'd be like the underground travel card zones, you know. What are your thoughts on this tier 4? Why was that needed? And do you agree with it?
If I can come in, because it's one of my other day job that I have to enforce the tier system. So it just came about, we just went into tier 3 just after the second lockdown. But this new variant of the COVID-19 is spreading quite rapidly. So the government had to come up with another emergency on top of emergency. So this was like the last minute thing to create a semi-lockdown situation. So I don't know. The future does not look bright in the short term for us, unfortunately.
Brother Yahya, what are your thoughts? I mean, to be honest with you, there isn't, these are some of the rules actually for tier 4. I mean, travel ban, no Christmas bubbles, which is a shame, really. I mean, Christmas is really the time where most families get together, at least during that time and that particular season. And people also travel over quite a lot. And this year, unfortunately, there's no family gathering at all. And I just think it's very, very cruel in terms of it's been implemented just before, 5-6 days before actual Christmas Day. It's not gone down too well, by the way. I mean, both the Tories and some of the Labour backbenchers are accusing the government of gross negligence, actually. And they think that Boris Johnson some say that he may have introduced it a bit too late, which is a fair point. Others say maybe it's not actually required. And I think the initial tiers that was in place were were actually good enough to keep, hopefully, curtail the spread of the virus as such. Does it seem a bit extreme to you at this particular moment of time, Brother Yahya?
Well, it's interesting you're saying that, because I was watching how a couple of days ago in Parliament, Boris was saying to Keir that, is that what you're asking me to do? Effectively cancel Christmas, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of days later, Boris does, cancel Christmas, technically, if you like. And he's saying, well, the facts have changed, so we have to, change in that sense of the word. I'm just thinking, you, I don't know. I think something like this could have been decided much earlier, and that would have been all right for people to kind of transition into. I have to say, you know, Christmas is a big thing for this part of the world,
Mm,
for families, especially. I mean, I think one of the core qualities for Christmas is that, you know, I've always, having been in this part of the world for probably 3 decades now, I've always seen that 25th of December being a day where, you know, everything is quiet. It means that all the noise is being made inside and indoors with
mm.
family and friends, and I think that's a positive thing. You know, this year, of course, it's been a difficult year overall, and for the peak part of this year, for many people, you know, whether people are relating to Christmas because of the religious connotation or cultural, whatever you, you know, it is a big um, and even more of a massive gap for those who've been distant from their own loved ones, you know, elders, young, whatever, in whatever shape and form, all over the UK. It definitely will be a massive, I suppose, a massive gap. You know, some people are very hurt. I mean, I was just watching one lady who feels that this is probably the last time she's going to be on earth. She might not be around because she's terminally ill, and she was preparing to have her sister over and so on and so forth, and she had already packed all the presents, and now, you know, this is not going to happen. So for some people, they've put together a lot of mental, physical energy towards this particular day, and then boom, it's taken, you know, from underneath their feet. But I have to say, at the same time, because of this variant, the mutation of this virus, to be honest with you, if the facts are the facts, then, you know, life preservation is more important than anything else. You know, that's my own outlook. That's the outlook of the faith that I ascribe to. And the only part to all of this is this, you know, change, constant, you know, one day is this, one week is that. That's probably harming people's sense of confidence in this whole reality that they have. And I suppose the government and those who are leading us are losing a lot of confidence from the very people they're supposed to be governing.
That's a great point, actually. Just on that basis, Brother Nazir, when COVID first started, obviously it was unprecedented. So governments could not be blamed for the circumstance they found themselves in. 10 months down the line, surely the governments are aware of what's going on. They should be better prepared, and the planning should be a lot better than what it is at the moment. Would you not agree? So the level of criticism aimed at the current government, I think, is totally correct. What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, 10 months ago, when the lockdown was introduced, people were saying we were about a month too late. When it happened in the European countries like Italy, Spain, for example, Italy was, you know, massively impacted,
Mm,
and we saw it coming. But I think our reaction was a bit delayed.
mm.
As ever, this country always tends to just wait and watch what others are doing before it does something. And unfortunately, this is the repercussion of what's happened over the 10 months or so. I know there's so many experts out there. There's experts coming out daily, you know, telling us from the opposition and for the pro governments that uh, they don't really know what the answer is, to be honest. That, you know, I don't totally blame the government. They are relying on the expert medical fields, expert in virology, experts in, you know, human movements and things. So they are just are the mouthpiece of the behind the scene work that is happening. So unfortunately, there's sometimes you see the government telling us one thing and they're themselves doing other things, not you know, cohesive to what we expect. So it is quite a situation that's unfolding that no one knows the answer to.
Yeah, well, London and Kent, I think, are part of the new Tier 4 ban, and it could be as part of Tier 4 up until the end of March, near enough. So it could be Easter, actually, which will take us exactly 12 months up until that COVID started. It's been a very difficult year.
Mm.
Hopefully, we can go back to normality as soon as possible. But not only COVID is an issue, we just touch base briefly on the shenanigans that is the Brexit no deal. Currently, massive argument about ownership of waters
Mm.
and fishery tariffs, etc. That's going to be a major economic hurdle and problem going into 2021.
See, I can imagine, we're only less than 10 days away. So I'm envisaging that there will be truckloads of goods stuck at the borders because what this government actually wants a hard Brexit. This is how they won that election. So they're trying every effort, showing us they want a deal, but then now they're going with a Australian deal, which is ultimately a hard Brexit. So
Okay,
all the
well,
shenanigans about sharing of waters, yes, it's very important, but all of this could have been decided earlier, basically.
you would have thought that the UK is in good hands with the Prime Minister, actually, because he was the leading instigator for Brexit. And it was his involvement and his campaign that eventually made the referendum successful for those that wanted to be out of Brexit. Now, as the Prime Minister, he just can't negotiate a deal, unfortunately. These stories will continue. COVID will be with
Mm.
us up until the new year, well into the new year, I'm pretty sure, and probably moving forward as well. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest developments, but also on Brexit as well. But we do have to move on, gentlemen. And now we go completely biased and completely partisan because we're about to meet the new team, the three individuals that are now part of the new charity, or new rebranded charity from Bangladesh Regional Trust, a redevelopment trust, which is the Global Development Foundation, which is about to meet them currently. I think we have a small clip about them. Is that correct? Do we have an introduction regarding Global Development Foundation, or do we go straight into the individuals? Do we have anything prepared? No, we don't have any prepared. No clip. Let's go straight to three very special people. I'd like to introduce you to you. First and foremost, Salaha Islam, chairwoman of Global Development Foundation, and she has been a previous guest on Bideshi Vibes before. Islamuddin, director of Global Development Foundation. He has also been a guest of Bideshi Vibes before. And also Anjuma Chowdhury, first time Secretary of Global Development Foundation. Salam alaikum and good evening to all three of you. Welcome to Bideshi Vibes.
Walaikum
Alaikum
salam.
salam.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. We were expecting actually some nice clip about Global Development Foundation, but obviously still in the pipeline, it's been worked on. So I do apologize to our audience regarding that. First and foremost, thank you so much for coming on. It's a very exciting show for us, very exciting episode. We are unashamedly supporters of GDF, very biased and very partisan towards you guys and the charity. And the reason behind it, we'll go into it in a bit more detail. Just before we move on to the guest, Brother Nazbike, it started Global Development Foundation. Originally, it started off the Bishnelt Regional Trust, okay, which was local province. Then it moved on to Bangladesh, and now it's the Global Development Foundation. Can you just give us a brief journey of the evolution to where we are right now?
I mean, Yehovah is in a better position to tell the journey than myself, but I can try. Um, Obviously, about 10 years ago from today, this journey started in East London, where a few like-minded brothers and sisters got together and decided on to create a charity focusing, back to their roots, back to their homeland where they were from. Originally, the people behind this charity were all Bangladesh, the Bishmat region of Sylhet, Bangladesh.
Mm.
And I think about 4 years down the line, when they were doing fantastic work in Bishwanath. They set up the college for women's only. They did a lot of work with the young, vibrant but highly poor students. The student investment program, which is quite unique. I mean, they will go into this and discuss
They
further
wouldn't.
in details. And they did a lot of emergency and seasonal work, which kind of developed. But as you know, the constitution is governed by the Charity Commission, and so whatever you put in the constitution, you're restricted to that kind of area of work. So I think down the line, further about 4 years down the line, I joined Bishnat Regeneration Trust. With the support of the management, we decided to expand our work across Bangladesh Hence, we called it Bangladesh Regeneration Trust. And we did a lot of work, as you people know. It's highly documented on social media, the type of work we've done. It's an expansion of what we were doing as a Bishnat level, but obviously taking it nationally. We focused our work for the Rohingya, the migrant Rohingya community that kind of influxed into Cox's Bazar area as a consequence of what happened in the Rakhine state of Burma. I mean, everyone knows what happened. It's well documented. It's very unfortunate situation unfolded, and Bangladesh, being the neighboring country, took the full brunt of the exodus of people. I think over 1 million so far. And then the other thing we did was introduce this unique heritage tour, which culminated second, third generation British Bangladeshis who've never been to Bangladesh, but highly interested in the work. And so once they come on the journey, they do stay on and contribute however way they can.
Yeah, sounds excellent. Well, let's meet GDF, the people that are going to make this project what it is and take it forward. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. So, starting off with the chairwoman herself, Saliha, why? Tell us, our audience, a bit about yourself, your background, and why GDF. Oh, unfortunately, she's on mute. Can you hear us? Oh, she can't hear us. Okay.
I can hear you. Okay, all right.
So tell us,
Okay.
tell our
Yeah, so
audience.
I've unmuted. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Tell us, I was going to mute actually Nazbai because it was going on and on. The show was about you guys and not about him, but it was great what he told us. Now, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, GDF is just one of the projects that you've been involved in.
Yes,
Tell us a bit about yourself and then GDF, and then we'll move on to Brother
Okay.
Islam and then Danjuma.
So basically, I'm born and raised here. But I wanted to kind of just particularly talk about Bangladesh and why I've been interested in doing some work there. So I've been, I trained originally over 30 years ago in social work. I became a manager. I've worked for several different organizations, including police, education, and SPCC. And I've also been director of several companies, including family support services. I've worked for the Maqam Center. I've been director of a leading charity and also director of Al Manar Mosque. So I've done lots and lots of different things, over in my life. And I've been volunteering for several charities as well during that time. But I really wanted to work for Bangladeshis in Bangladesh, and I'll tell you why that was. So my parents were part of the whole independence of Bangladesh. And as a small child, I was part of that, watching all of what was going on. And I remember taking a bag of rice to Parliament. I was one of the children that was picked up to go and give a bag of rice to the Prime Minister and say, can you please help our country? And I remember doing that. I was really, afraid. I was probably about 4 or 5. Anyhow, after the war, we actually met Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and he we met him. He met my family, and I remember him saying, "You're the future. You as in the family of children. You're the future of Bangladesh," and that really stuck with me throughout my whole life. In terms of, I've been to Bangladesh a few times, and I love Bangladesh, but I really wanted to do something. So when the opportunity arose, and I know Islam Bhai very well, and I know Anjuma a little bit. So we were looking at developing something ourselves anyhow with our expertise. We wanted to do something, but Alhamdulillah, Allah had other plans. And so we amalgamated with BRT, and I think we've got a really good organization that I think we can flourish with.
Fantastic. I mean, that's a story about meeting, the founding father of Bangladesh, really. Who was the UK Prime Minister that you gave the rise to?
It was Callahan.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at that. You're moving in high-level political circles at a young age, even. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I used to live in Victoria. I mean,
right.
And so about 10 minutes away, from our house was Parliament, Downing Street, and literally every day, felt like every day we were walking to Trafalgar Square, and all the slogans, and just watching this, because all the Bangladeshis here were doing so much to liberate Bangladesh. And so I think it's really important that we understand we are connected. We are connected with our country, and we should do something for Bangladesh as well as here.
Absolutely, very passionate, very beautiful story. Thank you very much, Brother Islam. Tell us a bit about yourself, sir. I mean, you've been involved in many, many different organizations. Now we've got you in GDF, and we're going to be keeping you, all of you guys, on. Hopefully, take us to the next level. Tell us, our audience, about you and your experiences so far, and why GDF.
I've been involved with charity work for a very long time, coming up to about 20 years now. That actual running of a charity, but just thinking back, I've always been interested in charity, and even when I was little, I remember my father. He used to do quite a lot for, not just for his family back home, but for other people in our village and the local area. So I guess that's where my experience of charity started. But more recently, I've been involved in a number of larger charities, and I've worked with the likes of Muslim Aid, with Human Appeal, with Muslim Hands, and I've also worked with smaller charities. I've experienced working with ICRA International, it's a well-known charity amongst the Bengali community, and I even set up a charity with my friend Imam Ajmal Masroor. But in the recent years,
it's not a bad friend to have, is he? He's a good guy.
Very useful. But in the past few years, I've been working with some of the larger Muslim charities, and I've had the opportunity to go to different places, like Bangladesh, for example. I've been, I think, about 10 or 11 times in the last 3 years with the charities, and we can go and visit things like the Rohingya camps. I think I've been about 8 or 9 times there, and that's increased my desire to do more for Bangladesh. And over the years, I've built up connections with people within the NGO, the charity sector in Bangladesh, as well as the political establishment, because as you know, you can't do anything without political support. So alhamdulillah, I've been able to use those connections to help the charities that I was working with. But then the opportunity came along to do something specifically for Bangladesh, and I started talking to Sister Saleha, Sister Anjuma. And while I was talking about this, I got a call from Yahya about something completely unrelated. And we were having a catch-up because we hadn't seen each other for some time. And I mentioned what I was doing, and he said, stop, don't set up anything new. Come and talk to the trustees of BRT UK, because it sounds like what you want to do and what we are trying to do is the same. So we started talking, and alhamdulillah, we have now arrived at Global Development Foundation, which is a registered charity. And we will continue to work with the BRT UK brand, because the way we're working at the moment is that GDF is the registered charity, and Bangladesh Regeneration Trust, or BRT UK, is going to be a project of GDF. So inshallah, we'll carry on and build on the amazing work that the brothers have done. And inshallah, with their involvement, they're still part of the organization. It's not as if it's been taken over. The trustees of BRT are still involved with the charity. And inshallah, we'll be able to build on the amazing work and do more for the people of Bangladesh.
Absolutely. Well, you're being interviewed by 3 members of BRT UK, so we are well and truly involved with you guys. Thank you very much for that. We'll come back to you in terms of support from local governments, actually, for charities a bit more later on in the show. Sister Anjuma, tell us a bit about yourself and why you got involved and why GDF.
Sure. So I'm a 3rd generation British Bangladeshi. I actually studied politics, international relations, good 12 years ago or so. And since then, I've been working in the 3rd sector, particularly with British Muslim organizations like Islam Channel, the Muslim Council of Britain, the Muslim Charities Forum, Ramadan Tent projects. I've specialised in administration, project coordination, and fundraising. The reason why I joined GDF, and I always say this, it was a divine calling for me. I always wanted to give back to our ancestral homeland. I've seen my father do philanthropic work there, throughout my whole life. And I think when I stayed in Bangladesh in the late 90s, I was quite young, I saw the impact of poverty. It humbled me, it made me resilient, and I will never forget what it taught me. And the power of, changing someone's life through charitable means. So I joined GDF only because that I can stay connected to my roots, to my father as well. He's no longer in this world. And I'm able to make a difference, not just in Bangladesh, but also in this country as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, great to have you on board. Now, we will move, we'll talk a bit more closer about Global Development Foundation in terms of their objectives, the projects they want to look at, what their visions are, plans, our objectives are, and what they would like to achieve during that particular time. But Brother Yahya, it's that time of the show where we basically interact with our audience and obviously introduce them to our challenge for this particular week. So it's Crack the Code. The award, the prize actually this particular week is a beautiful red velvet cheesecake from Royal Caterers Events and Management. A beautiful prize. And we've got 6 questions. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all the guests once again. And it's wonderful and an honor and an opportunity to be here with everyone, evolving from Bishnath Regeneration Trust to Bangladesh Regeneration Trust to GDF Global Development Foundation, whose core purpose will be to focus much more specifically on Bangladeshis, particularly right here in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that journey onwards and upwards, and I'm sure people who are watching tonight will be doing the same, inshallah. Kodba, thank you. Crack the code for those who are used to it. We're going to give you 6 questions, and then you need to be able to undo those questions. Here it goes. Crack the code challenge rules. Take the first letter of each answer and then unscramble the set of 6 letters to reveal the name of a world famous footballer. That's very interesting. Okay, so it will reveal the name of a very world famous footballer. I know one of them passed away in recent times, and the team he belongs to has massive rivalry. I think they probably have bigger rivalry in Bangladesh over 2 teams, Argentina and Brazil, than the very countries themselves. They're probably more whatever you want to hooliganism in Bangladesh than Brazil or Argentina. I'm not sure. It might not be Maradona, by the way. I'm just saying,
it can't be. It can't be Maradona, Messi, or Ronaldo, because 6 questions. Messi has 5 alphabets. Ronaldo has 7. And Maradona, I think, has 7 or 8. So it's 6 questions.
We don't want Bangladeshis having a war online. You know how it is when it comes to Brazil fans and Argentinian fans in Bangladesh. So
what are the questions for this particular week?
Okay, guys. Let's have the questions. Right, the first question is, Santa Claus, Gallia, Canary, Winter, and Snap are all which types of fruit?
Wow.
It seems like somebody's already ready to Google to see if he can get the answer. I just saw him look down.
I'm not entering this time.
Okay. By the way,
can we enter?
Audience, you can all use Google. We're not telling you not to, so that's not a problem. You're most welcome to do that. So that's the first question. Let's have the second question. Right, in Greek mythology, which hero is said to have died from an arrow to the heel? Okay, in Greek mythology, which hero is said to have died from an arrow to the heel? Okay, that's number 2. Let's go to number 3, please. Which world city is otherwise known as the Big Apple? Okay. Which world city is otherwise known as the Big Apple? Okay. And number 4, name the currency of Japan. Name the currency of Japan. The stock market is always making sure this particular currency is included in it. So you should be able to capture that. Okay, number 5. Yeah, name the birthstone for the month of July. Name the birthstone for the month of July. And the last question for Crack the Code challenge today, number 6, is name the 5th letter of the Greek alphabet. Name the 5th letter of the Greek alphabet. So when you scramble all of that and you put it together, you should be able to come up with the name of a very famous world footballer. Okay, so that's that. And don't forget, you have the opportunity to have a cake, red velvet. You can have it on your own, you can have it with your missus or the rest of your family. It's up to you. All right, so make sure you get involved, get your family involved, and start Googling. I'm sure you can get the answer. Brother Nazir, I forgot to ask, you're very smart today. I wonder if the blazer is has been bought recently. It looks like you're wearing a blazer.
I am wearing a blazer, but it's not a recent one. Did I tell you? I didn't know I was coming onto the show about 5 minutes before the show. So I just went upstairs, grabbed something, and just came back down and logged in, basically. So
That's the best way to get the,
this is me in like five minutes. So
that's the
can
best
you
way to
imagine
get
if it was an hour like some of our families?
that's the best way to get the best out of it. For some reason, I thought it's your night dress, which is nice and black, and you've tied it up very well, and you can't see it beyond your chest space.
No, I'm not wearing a longi underneath. No, it's not like
No,
Okay, great.
thank God for that.
Well done on that one. Looking very smart. Okay, for all those participants who cracked the code, we will announce the winner at the end of the program. But also, please do. We don't encourage you to use Google, but if you do, we don't know. But at least make an attempt and at least let us know what the answers are. And we'll announce the winner at the end of the program. Now, continuing with the show. The passion that we all have for Bangladesh, obviously, is very hereditary because that's where our heritage is from. However, you've on your reading notes, you mentioned that Bangladesh is one of the poorest countries in the world. Of course it is, and it has been. It's a very young country, actually, and it's done amazingly well to be where it is. In fact, I was reading an article a couple of days ago, which says the World Bank could classify Bangladesh as a developed nation in the next 5 to 10 years in terms of the growth of its economy. However, you still feel that Bangladesh is one of the poorest countries in the world. Explain to me what exactly is the problem in Bangladesh at the moment. I mean, obviously BRT was a specific Bangladeshi charity. Global Development Foundation is now going to be specifically targeting Bangladesh as well. But the poverty still remains; it cannot be eliminated. How will you be channeling your funds, your charities, and your projects into Bangladesh? And what sectors are you looking to actually invest in or actually support in?
For Islam?
Sorry? Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, okay. So the World Bank does say that Bangladesh will be amongst the developed countries. But right now, it's still amongst the top least developed countries. So there are 50 countries that are on that list, and Bangladesh is on there. We have, over the last 20 years, Bangladesh has made great economic strides. It's developed quite rapidly. But even now, there are half of the population. So Bangladesh, population of Bangladesh is about 165 million. Half of the population still lives in poverty, which is less than £2 per day. And about 20 million people are considered to be in extreme poverty, which is less than £1.40 per day. And we've all seen who these people are. We've seen them, and whenever there's a natural disaster, unfortunately, it's the poorest who are affected the most. And those of us who are from Bangladesh who've had the opportunity to visit the country, we will have seen these people. And most of them have nowhere else to turn to. Most of them have no recourse to any sort of public funds. We know that Bangladesh doesn't have a social care system like we have here. So most of the recipients of the work that we'll be doing, inshallah, will be the extreme poor, the people who come from communities and families who often can't feed themselves, who eat maybe once a day if they're lucky, or maybe once every couple of days. It's unfortunate, but that sort of poverty still exists, and you don't have to go far. If you go to Bangladesh, next time you go to Bangladesh, if you go to Sylhet, go to one of the bosties of Sylhet, and you will see. You will see it. You will smell it. It's heartbreaking when you see the conditions that some of these people are living in. So I've mentioned that I've worked with charities for a long time. I've visited refugee camps in different parts of the world, and some of the conditions that people in Sylhet city live in are worse than some of the refugee camps that I've been to. So this is why we've decided to focus primarily on Bangladesh as GDF. But we will also work for the Bangladeshi community in the UK. But the main focus will be on the poor.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sister Saleh, I'm just going looking at some of your current projects that you've inherited, obviously developing on. And let's talk us through about the Principal Women's College. What are your aims and objectives for in terms of taking this further?
Well, I think basically one of the things is there's been a lot of work already done, as Nazbai has said, but we want to really look at, how successful have these women been, and to really replicate this and to take it forward, because, some of these women may want to then become teachers, go on and become teachers, which would be really good. So we want to kind of like follow their story through and replicate it. So that's really key for us to evaluate all the work that's been done and then take that forward.
Oh, fantastic. Sister Anjuma, tell us about your passion for the student investment program that you've inherited, but also, you guys are heavily going to be involved in the cataract side as well in terms of surgery and operations. What can you tell us a bit more about those?
If I can just pass these questions on to my colleagues, if that's okay, just to focus on the projects, that'd be better, I think.
Okay. So can you tell us a bit about the student investment program then, in terms of what would you like to do in this particular year moving forward? And the cataract is always a very, very important one as well. I mean, in terms of how many operations has been done currently, and how many students have graduated? Do you have some figures for us?
So I'll leave the SIP to basically Islam Bey, but in terms of the cataract, children's cataract, this is something that we want to do. This is something that hasn't happened as yet, because I think one of the key issues is that a lot of adults, you've seen it during Ramadan or other times when charities actually, look at helping with this issue, cataract camps, all over the place. But I think one key thing is that young children, as young as, 8, 9, 10, can get these basically, it's like a cover on the eye. It's a very simple operation that can, allow people to see again. So I think that's something that we really want to do. And it's really important because it's about young people and it's their lives. So that's something that we, inshallah, wish to progress with. But in terms of the student investment program, I think I'll allow Islam Bey to just talk about that a little bit.
Actually, just before he does that, I've got some figures for you guys.
Sure.
Actually, just said you've graduated. 320 girls have actually graduated from your principal college, which is a phenomenal achievement. Right, you've done really, really well there. And in terms of near enough, in terms of the education, side, I think there's near enough 1,620 school bags, etc., that has been provided for children as well. The cataract one is obviously being launched, and that's a fabulous project because it's a massive problem, a health issue in Bangladesh as well. So it really is actually required. I know recently you guys have been on Bideshi, you guys actually trying to raise funds for the Rohingya community. And that's island project that you did some funds. And eventually, how much did you actually raise? And is this project going to be continuing? And what are your aims and objectives on that for the Rohingyans moving forward into 2021?
So with the online campaign, we raised about £2,500.
Oh, very nice.
But this is an ongoing project, and we want to help a lot more people. So we will continue to run that campaign. And in terms of the Rohingya on Bhasan Char Island, which we talked about on your last show, these people will be there for the foreseeable future. And the Bangladeshi government, while it has done an amazing job in building the camp, they are not going to be providing for the daily needs. So it's up to the charities to help these people. And they are trying to provide some food. There's some land available where they'll grow some food, but for other things, for the other necessities, things like hygiene products, soap, washing powder, even and other food stuff, they'll need to be they'll be relying on charities and our supporters for that sort of aid.
Okay, the Bhasan Char Island, which one? In terms of the project as such, obviously, it's a great humanitarian gesture that the Bangladeshi government have done in terms of building this island for the Rohingyans. However, it's proving to be very controversial. Not everybody, not all the Rohingyans actually want to move to this particular island. The question I wanted to ask, I mean, obviously, on that, I remember from our last program, I think Gus is the actual logistics partner for GDF in terms of delivering the resources and all the funds, etc., and everything that's required. What do you think? It's not just the GDF, but do you think charities in general should actually be consulted in or actually seeked out for advice by local and national governments in terms of the work they put in, and they should, some kind of consultation process should involve charities actually helping out governments, or at least giving some kind of advice in terms of what should be done, eliminating poverty, healthcare, or in the case of Rohingyas. How do you think charities become more integral? They already are integral. How can they become more integral? And do you feel that they're missing out? Governments are not utilizing what charities have to offer in terms of expertise and advice.
Yes, absolutely. The charities, especially the larger charities, those that have been established for some time, they have a tremendous wealth of experience. And I don't think governments anywhere, and even look at what's happening in this country, governments need to talk to and engage with the charities a lot more in order to learn from the experience that the charities have. And in places like Bangladesh, it's absolutely essential that the Bangladeshi government talks to all charities, not just the UN. The UN does amazing work, but it doesn't do everything. And it's up to some of the smaller charities to fill in the gaps. And these are the organizations that the Bangladeshi government definitely needs to talk to when they are planning large-scale operations. I mean, with Basanchar, I don't think there was much involvement of charities on the actual plans. It was once everything was ready, then the government turned to the charities and said, "This is what we're doing. Come and help." I think the charities need to be involved a lot earlier in the process.
No, I totally agree. Brother Yahya, do you have a question for GDF?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think cataract work that GDF is planning to do, I think generally within the British Bangladeshi community here in the UK, often when appeals and fundraising is being done, and when it comes to, let's say, healthcare, so often adults are getting a lot of attention, and in this particular aspect, definitely it's more adults that we see when it comes to eye care or cataract removal. And I think the idea of targeting, such issue much earlier on is a very important thought process, and I think that's a great initiative, and I really hope that they're make headways and kind of perhaps share good practice with other fellows who are working out there as well from here in the UK. I think one of the things that I would like to ask, and I think Brother Islam can maybe contribute. I know that a lot of the big charities based within the UK community get a lot of funds from the Bangladeshi community. Alhamdulillah, the British Bangladeshi community are known for their generosity, and to be honest, credit is not only due to them. We thank Allah for giving our head and hearts in the right place, and our pockets reflect that. Even if we don't have, we understand the power and the need to give, because it's through giving we actually bless our living, if you like, and inshallah it will continue. So when all of these charities, who are not necessarily, their main focus may not be in Bangladesh, but they extract a lot of big funds from the Bangladeshi community, are they able to then proportionately actually reinvest the same kind of funds that they're raising back to Bangladesh? Or they, perhaps it's not necessarily the biggest priority, and it's a generic pot. They may have some contribution in Bangladesh, but a lot more focus is somewhere else. And can someone like GDF perhaps look to fill such a gap?
Thank you for that question. It is, there are a lot of charities, Muslim charities in the UK, and as I said, there are a few really large charities. The largest Muslim charity income has an income of 130 million pounds, and the British Bangladeshi community do give a lot of money, but they give for a lot of causes, not necessarily just for Bangladesh. However, from my experience, I haven't seen the same sort of commitment from these charities to Bangladesh. I think the charities can do a lot more work. The larger charities can do a lot more work. With possible a couple of exceptions, most charities aren't spending anywhere near the sort of amounts that they're raising from the community. So yes, we would like to fill that gap. We would like to be in a position where we can specialize and focus on Bangladesh. And one way that we want to do this is by working with other charities, not just other smaller charities like us, but working with the larger charities who might not prioritize Bangladesh. Because every organization has its own priorities, they'll have their strategies, and Bangladesh might not feature heavily in that. So we can possibly work with organizations like that and offer our expertise and our experience and our resources to deliver projects in Bangladesh, inshallah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think networking, working with other charities is the way forward, certainly. We've got a couple of questions from the audience, starting with Sister Saleha. Global Development Trust, is it focused only in Bangladesh? Will the charity have any remits in the UK to contribute to some charitable causes? From regular viewer Turgut Alp. Okay, Sister Saleha, can you answer that question for us?
Yes, so basically, we do want to work with Bangladeshis in the UK. And I think what we've decided is because of COVID, we're going to concentrate on mental health because it's a huge issue. And especially, I think, for, people of a particular generation, those who can't speak English, who can't access particular services. So we're basically looking towards trust funds to generate some income to do that. And we're waiting that. I think it's, I think we've all agreed that we know what's going on for our, people like our mums and our aunts. They can't access, support for themselves. It's a very difficult time, mentally, emotionally. Can I also just say, I'm on my phone, so I'm getting some comments from some people that I know, and it is me, it's Saleha. And I think they're very interested in supporting some of our causes, and I'll reach out to them afterwards. So yeah, this is something that's new. I haven't spoken about it with everybody because we've taken quite a bit of time to get GDF on the ground. And so even though we've been around for about nearly 3 months, we're just kind of becoming live now. So I just want to kind of give that message out to people. Thank you.
Well, to our watching audience, they have been active for the last 3 months, but this is the official launch show, and I believe they're live from right now. Okay, they've already done some fantastic.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
The brothers and sisters here, they've already been involved with BRT UK. I mean, they were the leading figures in BRT UK in the last 3 months. Sister Saleha was the chairwoman of BRT UK. Sister Anjuma was the secretary. We just kind of switched over to this CIO model, which gives us more scope and more reach to do our work, the unique work that we want to do. So I thought I'll just add that here.
Absolutely. In fact, there's another second question from our audience, Moinul, which is a very good one. Salam alaikum, he says. Wa alaikum assalam. What would be unique or be different to what is already in the charity space? That's a very good question. Anybody would like to answer
I think I'd like to say something here. One of the things is when you've got an established large charitable organization, you can't do things because you want to do things. It's very difficult. They've got priorities. They've got specific things that they can do. And I have been, and I'm not going to name the name, but I've been London director for a very large charity. And I've said, look, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and they were like, no, this is going to take now 3 years, 4 years to do. The good thing about us is that we can basically respond. We're very different in terms of the trustee group. I mean, number one, we're all professionals within our own right. We do this as a voluntary, we're not paid for this, as in all the trustees. And we can look at what's around and what we want to do, which is very different from other charities who can't just suddenly say, we are deciding that we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And that's something that's, I think, really interesting for us because we can set priorities for the next few years. And we can say, look, we can add an extra project if we want to, etc., etc. I think we're open as a trustee group to look at innovative work.
Yeah, can I come in here, please?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think what makes us unique is the fact that we're working in Bangladesh and we want to work with the British Bangladeshi community here. We want to alleviate poverty here and abroad. And I think that's what makes us unique. And I think this is the reason why you will see, inshallah, great projects coming up here and in Bangladesh.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of small groups of small charities that actually spend a lot of money, support a lot of schools in Bangladesh, but there isn't actually a particular charity or a brand or certain size that focuses specifically and dedicates a lot of the time in Bangladesh. GDF or BRT used to, still does, and GDF will certainly do that moving forward. Now, just before we move on, and we'll talk about COVID, the problems of that, and the problems of staying at home, and the world of digital funding and how competitive it is, and how can you get a competitive advantage over other charities. We will discuss that very shortly, but we have to repeat the Crack the Code Challenge again, sponsored by Royal Catering Events and Management. The prize this week is obviously a red velvet cheesecake. If you've never tried it, you would absolutely love it. It's so amazing and beautiful. And we have 6 questions. You know the rules. Write the answer, unscramble them, and then put them together, and it should give you, the answer should be a world famous footballer, but it's definitely not Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo or Diego Maradona. These are the questions, Brother Yahya. Please repeat them again.
Yeah, I'll do one, and I think Nazir Bhai can help us as well. Santa Claus, Galia, Canary, Winter, and Snap are all which types of fruit? Okay, I've never heard of fruit names like that, but they're connected to certain types of fruits from the fruit family. Yeah, Nazir Bhai, go for it.
In Greek mythology, which hero said to have died from an arrow to the heel? It's not Cupid. So
trust Nazir Bhai to say that. That's interesting. Let's go to the third one. Is which world city is otherwise known as the Big Apple? Which
We should
world
all
city
know this, right?
otherwise known as the Big Apple? Okay, yeah, Nazir Bhai.
name the currency of Japan. It'd be obvious one.
Okay, name the birthstone for the month of July. Name the birthstone for the month of July.
Name the 5th letter of the Greek alphabet.
That's it. So you've got all the 6 questions, dear viewers, from wherever you're watching Bideshi Vibes. Crack that code. You know the rules. The first letter of each answer, and then unscramble the set of 6 letters, which will reveal to you the name of a world famous footballer. Okay, the name of a world famous footballer. It probably is not Pele, because it's 6 letters. So Pele is not 6 letters, just to say off the record, if you like.
And I've
Really
stopped
good.
playing football since I left school, so it couldn't have been me.
You sound like you're a very old man.
Well, really good luck with this one. Okay, coming back to getting to know GDF. COVID has changed the world dramatically. What impact, well, what, in terms of the choosing of projects next year, is it going to have on GDF? I mean, infrastructure project, long-term sustainable project may not be what you will be targeting next year, 2021. It could be more of emergency relief and immediate support. So how are you going to be tackling this issue? What do you think 2021 looks like for GDF with COVID in mind?
COVID has had a big impact on all charities, as you will have seen, but not in a negative way in every case. Some of the charities have raised a lot more money this year than they have in the past, whereas other charities, large international charities, have raised a lot less. For us, I think working in Bangladesh, it has impacted some of the projects that we have in the pipeline, such as the pediatric cataract operations, which we can't do now because the eye clinics are closed. But it's something that we hope, once the vaccine is out there and people are vaccinated and it's safe for us to do so, that we will do so. But we will be doing a lot more emergency. It's not quite emergency, but a lot more short-term projects to help people, giving people access to food and hygiene, healthcare, etc. But alongside that, we do want to work on long-term developmental projects. So, for example, we have livelihoods projects where we will provide livestock to families, and over a period of time, the livestock will grow and multiply, and after an agreed time, we will be able to take back our initial investment. So it's a microfinance project. it's not anything new or innovative. It's been done and it's been proven to work, which is why we are doing it. And if you ask why are you doing it, if others are doing it, we need more. We need a lot more of these types of projects, because the big charity or the charities that are out there are not able to reach everybody, and there are a lot more people in need than there are charities available. So wherever possible, we will learn from what others have done, and if somebody is doing something well, we will do the same. So we will be launching long-term projects alongside more sort of immediate projects.
Absolutely.
Great. Tojumul Ali is watching. Mashallah, sound really promising. Inshallah, GDF is the next level for onwards and upwards. Nazir Ahmed, my new favorite show. Fantastic, Nazir. Welcome to the show. I hope you've not just joined. Nazir is someone I know, and he's been quite loyal in giving us some very important advice, including saying, looking at Walaikum Salam, Nazir. Looking at what can we do for an end of year show. So Nazir, thank you for those ideas whilst we were together earlier on today.
Brother
Just to,
Yahya,
yeah.
can we give him the cheesecake for that compliment?
No,
Go for it.
no. He
Go for it.
deserves more than that. I'm not
sure
worth
we could
it.
get another one. Seriously,
Adil,
Get another one.
Adil Chaudhry, good to see you watching. Looking forward to supporting your journey with my fantastic team at Launch Good. Adil, it's an honor. I know you're working with Brother Mustafa very closely. Adil, we want you to work with us to be able to make this an opportunity for second, third, and I would say forget second, I would say third and fourth generation British Bangladeshis. And this is my question to all of the three guests tonight. We'll come back to an answer from you. Is how can we take Bangladesh to the second, third, and fourth generation that are living here? I personally think charitable work has to be much more intelligently led and less emotionally led. The emotion needs to push us, but the work that we do needs to be need-based, needs to be sustainable, needs to be impacting and measurable, that it actually is making a change, rather than Yahya asking people because Yahya has a little institution and he wants everyone to rally that support there. Therefore, perhaps potentially denying people's donations to be much more intelligently given and focused. And we want to encourage third and fourth generations to come on board and to lead this work to make it even better than those who started it. So we're coming back to that discussion. Please keep that in your thought process. I would like some answers to that. Brother Nazir, the Heritage Tour, I know that you've been on several of the Bangladesh Heritage Tour. It's become quite a unique opportunity to take second/third generation British Bangladeshis to different parts of Bangladesh, as well as to expose them to the work of BRT UK, and inshallah soon it will be further the work of GDF. What is it? Why is it important to do these trips annually? And how has your experience been, and what kind of impact do you think it can bring about?
I mean, to be honest, I was one of the products of this heritage tour of Bangladesh. Initially, when I first got involved, I did a tour of Bishwanath, where I was rooted, and I didn't know most parts of Bishwanath other than my own bari and Bishwanath Bazaar and my Mamur bari, and that was Bangladesh for me. So when I came on board, and with the help of the trustees and the management of BRT UK, we introduced the Heritage Tour, taking second, third generation British Bangladeshis who are rooted or some interest in Bangladesh, but have never been back for many, many years for various reasons. But once they come on board, and sisters have been with us as well, not just the brothers, we have an itinerary in place which is helped set up through GUS. I mean, they have the reach in Bangladesh, so they have taken us to places that we cannot even imagine that existed in Bangladesh. From Land's End to John O'Groats. There's a similar in Bangladesh we've done from Tetulia to Teknaf. So we did that trek, and we do various other journeys to the St. Martin's Island, to various other beautiful beach areas of Bangladesh. It's an amazing trip, and what that does, that reconnects people to the charity, to their motherland, as well as there's a charitable aspect. Every stop we make throughout this tour, we have to do some charity work. So everyone that comes on board, they have to bring in some amount of funds to invest in one of these identified projects. So I hope GDF will continue this journey. I know COVID has been a bigger stumbling block for the Heritage Tour, which would have been organized already. But I'm sure you guys are planning something in the future. So Islam Bhai, what is the plan of the Heritage Tour, please?
Wait and see. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we can't really make any solid plans yet. But we do want to continue the amazing heritage tour. I want to go on it myself. I've not been on it.
About the sisters.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going to come and do inshallah.
I mean, you have to lead. You have to lead from the front in this charity.
We are.
I mean, one unique story. We took children with us. We had a family, and they were coming with snorkels and the scuba diving gears to do this trek in Bangladesh. When they went with us, we couldn't really find scuba diving and snorkeling places, so they were fairly disappointed. So hopefully, going forward, there would be a resort where that can provide all of this holistic holiday for young people.
Yeah, absolutely. The heritage tour. I mean, as I know, I've been part of BRT for about 6, 7 years now. I know the guys always do the annual trip, and I think Mohammed Haq asked, "Is there going to be one for 2021?" I guess the answer to this one is due to the current situation with COVID. It's a bit difficult one to predict, but hopefully, obviously, with the website of GDF currently under construction, you will be able to get further details, and I'm pretty sure that the heritage tour will become an annual one, even if it's not done next year, because it might be a bit difficult to predict what's going to be happening, certainly up until the end of April. We're actually going to be moving on to the quiz very, very shortly. I just wanted to ask a question, actually. There was another audience that mentioned LaunchGood. LaunchGood is a digital platform that's fundraising and doing very, very well. With the current situation with lockdown, digital fundraising becomes very, very important. So, I mean, the days of bucket collection and fundraising are well and truly over. What to our watching audience to get involved? What do you recommend? I mean, in terms of having seminars digitally on Zoom, etc., is that the future now for not just with GDF but for charities in general?
Covid bhai, before they come to the answer, I think it's question which is connected to, I suppose, my question, which is to do
Yeah,
with
yeah.
how can third and fourth generations be connected up. We've got something like the heritage tour, which is a very important one. We just need to make sure that there's enough that they can be attracted to, and I don't think we should be encouraging people to go out to Bangladesh so that they could have a holiday as if that they've gone to, I don't know, some very popular holiday destination. No, they need to be orientated towards the best that Bangladesh can offer, not necessarily the best that we want, and that's also part of that sense of connecting and uniqueness. And I think that there's a lot more to do than snorkeling, and inshallah, I'm sure other opportunities will come. But I am very keen for the question to be connected to how can we engage, and I think this would be one of the unique things about GDF is to look at how, by saying that can the UK in giving back to the UK, so that the UK British Bangladeshi community can give more to Bangladesh. How can you engage the third and fourth generation, because they are the future of what Bangladesh will become, inshallah, at the next level.
I want to come in here because I think it's a really important question, and I think you've also answered part of it. We do have younger members on the trustee board, which I think is very important. Often you don't get young people involved in charities, so that's number one, is an important cause. The second thing is that basically, often third and fourth generation think that Bangladesh is only a poor country. And we have to give that a balance. It's not just about poverty. It's a very beautiful country, actually. There's so many resources. It's so nice. I mean, my childhood, when I think about it, as I said, I was born and raised in England, but my best time was when I went to Bangladesh, and I just loved it. Absolutely amazing. The few months that I was there, the people that I met, what I saw, the fruits, the seasons, I can't forget it. And that's what kind of makes me still connect. So I think basically we need to have a balance. It's so important that people feel they can do something, but they can also gain something from the country. And we do need to have connection. Now, even if it's not possible because of COVID, there are other ways to make connection. I think we need to think about that as a trustee group in terms of how we can do that. But it's really important that our audience are kind of like, people that donate with us. They talk to us, they engage with us. We're really open to listening to them and listening to their ideas. As we said, you've got everybody here who's the key trustees. So we're here to listen today as well, not just to tell you what we want to do. We want to listen to your thoughts and views as well. And we hope that you'll engage with us after this program as well, inshallah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it took me a while to sign up the forms, but I finally did it on Friday. Don't
Thank
worry.
you.
I have some few ideas that I've been mentioning. Now, we've been talking about how beautiful Bangladesh, etc., but charity always starts at home, and home is the United Kingdom. We'll move on to the UK and the question after our next round, excuse me, which is the quiz. We've been talking about Bangladesh and how proud we are, Bengalis. Let's find out how Bangladeshi really are. Brother Yahya, let's take it away. Let's put our
Oh, God.
contestants in Bangladeshi quiz.
Right, it's called on the spot challenge, and all three people, who've joined tonight's show. It's an honor to have you once again. But we're going to put you on the spot, as I'm sure Bangladesh is deeply ingrained within your heads and hearts, and it's running through your blood. Out how hot that blood. We just passed the 16th of December, which was a very important day for the calendar of Bangladesh, actually. So, a lot of things about Bangladesh is moving around within our household, on the screen, online, etc., etc. So this gives me the opportunity to actually get you to, I suppose, share with everyone, how Bangladeshi you really are from this quiz. All right, round one. Bring it on, producer. Round one, Deshinam. So basically, you need to look at these pictures and come up with the names that you know of these
Peter.
items.
Yeah, Peter.
Is that physical violence?
Soifita.
Soifita. Three of them are Soifita, aren't they?
It looks like Soifita. I think that's what Soifita is. Yeah.
That's the correct answer. Yeah. That's the correct answer.
Okay.
What does Sister Anjuma think?
Well, this is where you sit on, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the kitchen.
It's a very
Could be that. Yeah. I saw this in the body.
I can safely say Sister Anjuma will not get any of them. In fact, I don't.
Okay, come on. Don't be harsh. I know a few things.
Yeah. I'm taking their brother Islam, actually. So, okay, what is this one?
I knew this was in the kitchen. I knew that much.
I think
I have one, unfortunately, at home.
I think it's a
Brother
card.
Islam, you should stay muted for now.
Who wants to have a go at this one?
Is it a card?
Islam Bhai?
I think you're right.
Okay, that's your answer, Islam Bhai.
I thought it was the same thing, but I'm not sure now.
Now you're in doubt. That's good. So
Yeah, it's a bit old. It looks a bit old and jagged, so I'm not sure.
I think
age
it's a
is not a
chopping board.
problem. The essential job may be the best way to see if you can focus on the name. Sister Anjuma, you want to have a go? You're most welcome. It doesn't mean you have to.
I don't know the name. I don't know I just think you sit on it, and it's in the kitchen usually, and it's usually in the body.
Good.
Like it's something my grandmother's used probably.
To be honest, the fact that you use the description that is used in the bari, that is very good. Mashallah. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Number 3, please. Picture 3.
Yeah. Oh.
That's my favorite.
Okay, Sister Saleha first, please. What do you think this is?
No. Stop. We'll start with Sister Anjuma this time. Okay.
Oh, I've said it already though.
I couldn't hear. I don't know the name of this fish. I know it's fish. I think it was my dad's favorite. That much I do know, but I don't know the name of this fish. I'm sorry.
No problem. We'll go to Islam Bhai.
It's actually my favorite fish. So
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Is that the name of the fish? My favorite fish. Is that what it's called?
What's the Bangla name?
What is the name?
Ranima.
Huh?
Okay.
Ranimas.
Rani.
Okay.
It's interesting. I want to come back to you or Sister Saleh afterwards on this one. Go on, Sister Saleh.
Fish.
Huh?
I said it was Rani fish because my dad used to love it, and actually, I couldn't eat this for years. Whenever my mum cooked it, I just thought it was too beautiful to cook. Yeah, it's just they're so pretty. I mean, they are really beautiful fish, and I found it difficult.
Yeah, it is
But a few
right
years
on.
ago, I started to eat it, and they're very tasty.
By the way, they're very tasty with the tangerine, dried tangerine peel.
Ah,
Basically.
okay, all right. I usually have
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I think we usually cook it buna, like kind of
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah, that's good with lots of onion. I'm with you as well. However, I want to ask a question. It's called
Okay.
Ranima. So Rani refers to what? A princess? Queen?
Queen.
Rani's a queen.
Okay, so what does that mean that all of these fish are all female?
I don't know. That's really interesting. They can't be, can they? They can't be.
There you
Maybe because it might be because they're so beautiful.
go. Yeah, I think
There's some
the best,
Razama
best.
swimming around.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Does this fish have a lot of bones in it or not?
No, all fish essentially have bone. It's a central bone. That has a central bone, so it's not
Okay.
too complicated to consume, to be honest with you.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
It is
Okay.
very, very tasty, I must say. It's not my favorite, but it's very
I
tasty.
must try it.
Yes, you must. And don't worry about how pretty it looks. You need to worry about how tasty it feels.
Tasty.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Next one.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I know what this is.
No. You stop. You stop for a while. Yeah. Let's see what the other two know. Sister Anjuma, do you want to have a go?
I really don't know what's this called. Again, I see this in the Bari. Through the fields, I think. I don't
I
know.
think if some of your family members, they might take some issues up with you because not all of this is available in the Bible.
Luckily, I don't think anyone's watching. But yeah.
Okay,
Can I tell you a fact
let's go
about
to
this? I'm not going to say what it is.
Huh?
Yeah, but I'll tell you. I mean, if it is kuyar,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
Oh,
but if you have this in the bari,
sugarcane.
a lot of snakes
Yes.
come and stay there. A
Oh,
lot of
Yeah,
snakes
okay.
come, so they don't have this in the bari. So we had,
Yeah.
because we've got a very huge bari, and we
Yeah.
had some of this. And I remember there were a few snakes, and so then my oldest chacha, he basically just said, "Look, we've got to get rid of this because it's not safe for the children."
Yep.
But it was lovely. You could just go into your backyard and get someone to break it and then just chew on it, and it's delicious.
Sugar
It looks
cane,
delicious.
basically.
Sugar
I
cane.
tell you
yeah.
what, I tell you who haven't gone on the heritage tour. If you go on the heritage tour with the GDF, one thing you will taste is this thing squeezed, ice added to it in a glass.
Yep.
In a glass, basically. It over to you, nice and chilled. Believe me, it is one of the most amazing and most refreshing drinks that I've had. I've had one more refreshing than this, basically, in Bangladesh, but this is just an amazing drink. So,
I've
yeah,
had this in
Queer.
Bangladesh and in Egypt, actually, in Cairo.
yeah.
wow.
It's mainly in
Very
climates like
sweet.
that.
Mm.
Nazir, do you remember one of the tours we did where we just stopped over and then walked into the field, and we were authorized by the local rep to say, yeah, you can, it belongs to the one of the local leaders, and you can just go and grab a few, and we did do that, remember?
I mean, we were doing it whilst the police were watching a guard on our activities, basically encouraging us to go and steal someone else's queer.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move to the next one.
Next one.
Oh, come on.
Naga.
We're definitely going to give it to Sister Anjuma. I know she's well
Yay!
excited.
I love it. It's my favorite chili.
What is it?
My mom grows them.
Yes, go ahead.
Nagamoris. Nagamoris.
Okay.
In Sylheti.
And-
Yeah.
And you, when was the last time you had one?
I think a couple of days ago. My mom grows them. My mom grows them in her garden. Or she did in the summer, so we have loads.
No, it's not about how many you had. When was the last time you had one of them?
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Oh,
So we have loads at home.
So you're telling the whole world that you've actually had a whole naga?
Yeah. My mom was feeding me since I was a baby. I swear that I'm so comfortable eating naga. I have no problems with it.
Wow.
The more spice, the better for me. The more spice, the better. I'm a true Bangladeshi, like I said.
That's a real Bangladeshi factor in you, mashallah.
Yeah.
Saleh, have you got any other names for this, or in your family it's naga? That's what it's
No,
called.
it's just naga. It's just nagamoris. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you one thing though. whenever we used to have parties that weren't, where there weren't any Asians, we used to take Mr. Naga with us, so we can add a bit of spice. And even when I traveled to Turkey for work, I actually took Mr. Naga with me as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's like our mothers taking their what's it called beetle box with them.
Okay, it's not been bad actually. It's not been bad. I think out of the 5, the only one that they had a problem with was number 2, and it's called a socky.
Well,
Number
I got
2.
that right then. I said it was
No,
a hat.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
that's
a
we need a
socky,
socky.
man. It's a
Socky.
hat.
It's a hat
Never
and it's
had
a
a socky
hat
one.
because it
Socky
was
is
a
a beard.
socky. It's a different type of word. I think it's just different words, terminology.
You
Because
have to sack,
we
you
make
have to
the
sack
rule.
the
We
host.
make
Which
the
dialect? I've had heart.
Yeah. We can't
It is
give you
hard.
that. Unfortunately. We had 4 out of 5, which is not too bad. And also for our viewers, we got a nice little cooking tip there. Actually, runny musk with tangerine skin from brother Yahya. Try that next time. Okay. Let's move on to the next second quiz, please.
Yeah, this one is Bideshi Kham. So essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to see something that is from this part of the world, from the UK. It could be a very famous brand. It could be a word, and your language ability is going to come in to advantage here. So the more stronger your Bengali is, the more you're going to ride the waves here, basically. So I don't know whose Bengali is that.
Oh my gosh.
So you need to
Okay.
translate that into Bengali. Whether it's English or any other dialect, not a problem. Go for it.
Pick up.
Pick, what's pick?
Ufretulo. I don't know if it's like
Tula.
Ufretulo.
Kala chocolate. What's chocolate in Bangla? Chocolate. It's fine.
Chocolate.
Let's go to the next one. This one's okay.
I think you could use the word chocolate and get away with it because chocolate is chocolate, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In Bangladesh, yeah.
There's not necessarily a Bangla word for it.
No, chocolate is with the S.
Oh, Kora. Be Kora, I think. Oh, I don't know actually.
Okay. What about this one translated to Bengali?
There's a lot of words.
Gorodoro.
Gor.
In. Gosh, that's a bit. Gorodoro in. Bitre.
No. Even Sister Saleh is actually now realizing. Hang on.
These are hard.
Because the in INN is like, what is it? It's not.
Like
It's a hotel.
Yeah, so we don't have a pub equivalent, do we? So
yeah. We
Fine,
have
fair enough.
Modbar.
I just I wouldn't know I've never been in one.
Let's go to the next one. This one's quite hard, to be honest, because some of the words are funny. It's not necessarily, like global culture as such. So, this is a good one.
Bag. Tiger's bag.
Yeah, but you need to read the whole thing. You just look.
And I'm trying. What's royal in Bangla?
Royal is
Shahi.
Moha? Oh.
Shahi, isn't it?
Shahi, yeah.
No, that's Shahi is like
Shahi bag.
Rajatto.
Very nice.
Yeah, Rajatto bag. So
Energy.
or Shingo, Rajatto Shingo. And then unless you want us to do the energy drink, what is energy?
Shakti. That's strength actually.
Yes, that's
energy.
right.
Yeah, it could be energy. Energy is, I don't know.
Islam, come on, you're quiet.
You speak better Bangla than all of us.
He's looking at the
dictionary.
I'm racking my brain trying to think of what energy.
I know, it's really difficult.
Shakti is probably the closest we're going to get to it. So,
okay.
Drink. Let's drink. Shorbat.
Yeah, Sharbat is good.
That could work.
Sharbat is good.
Yeah.
Shakti Sharbat. Okay.
All right.
What is that? Gulafi?
Pink, gulafi. Yeah. Olive, I have no idea.
People in Bangladesh get this wrong. They say is Belfoy, but it's actually Belfoy, is it? They describe
olive Belfoy, really?
They describe Belfoy as olive.
Olive Belfoy?
I think olive is from the Belfoy. Belfoy is from the olive family. I personally think that, by the way.
It doesn't taste like that.
No, it doesn't.
It's more sweet, isn't it? Balfoy.
No. That must
But Zaytoon is a lot more tangy.
Your family must have a very special tree if your Belfoys are very sweet.
Maybe I'm getting confused.
The tree
I call it Zaytoon, and it's Arabic, but yeah.
Pink olive. What is the word for pink then? At least.
Gulapi.
Gulapi, yeah.
Gulapi. Okay. Can we move on, producer? Oh.
Razar Mata.
Any more?
Raja Mata.
Okay, that's the last one. I think do we have a bonus? The translation bonus.
Yeah, we got a bonus one for all of you, and I think this is the best of all. The 2 rounds. The third round always is very interesting, inshallah. So what will happen is you're going to get to read or listen to something, and then you need to put that together. So this is Mandela, the late Nelson Mandela, great man. This is something he has said. We would like you to read it and then bring it to life with your own version of Bangla. So have a good go at reading. Don't do literal translation. You'd be doing him this disfavor, if you like. Try to bring out the spirit of what he's saying. You don't have to have verbatim, but see if you can take what he's saying and bring it to the audience in Bangla. Let's see.
Let's read it for you in English, and you've got to translate it into Bangla. It's basically Mandela said, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities." That would be great, wouldn't it? It is an ideal I hope to live for and to achieve, but if need be, it is an ideal for which I'm prepared to die. It's a very beautiful statement, actually. Please translate this into Bangla. Have a go at it, starting with Sister Anjuma, and then we go down.
Oh my goodness, I've just started writing and I haven't started doing the first word. I can only get bits of word. Maybe it will help the other participants. So
I tell you what. Let's be fair. Sister Anjuma, we're going to come back to you second. We're going to give you a bit more time because I think it would be nice to hear how you put that together within your own experience of language, which is fine. So we'll give you the opportunity. Let's go to Islam Bhai, and then we'll come back to Sister Anjuma. Go on, Brother Islam.
You know what? I think I'm having internet connection problems right now.
I'm trying to get out of this.
You said you think you're having internet connection problems.
Can you all do it together? At least help each other out. We've got about 6 minutes of the show left.
Yes, can we help each other, please?
Go on,
I think you mix it up with Martin Luther King and call it like "I Have a Dream" or something.
No.
I think we can try a little bit. So I feel like saying the first bit is that I'm gonna. Well, no, oh God, you said Shofno, and then that's coming to my head. But what would I say? I have cherished the ideal.
Cherish, khwaish, I think the word khwaish.
Urdu, that's Urdu.
আমরা একটা আশা আছে যে আমরা দেশ, আমরা একটা আশা আছে যে আমরা দেশ একটা সভ্য দেশ,
স্বাধীন,
সভ্য দেশ, সমাজ,
সমাজ, not দেশ.
সমাজ
সব মানুষ
হবে যেখানে সব মানুষ একসাথে বাস করবে সুখে শান্তিতে. So something, equal opportunities is a difficult one.
আমরা সবাই এক.
You know what?
সবাই জন্য সব কিছু এক.
Okay. What's an ideal? আদর্শ আচ্ছা আদর্শ যে আমরা আশা করি যে আমরা এটা বাস্তব করতে পারি. But if need be, it is an ideal for which জরুরি পড়লে এই বাস্তবতা আমাদের জান দিতে পারি.
Very impressive, actually. She's very good.
I've got to say, that was a really bad attempt.
Born and bred here, you managed to come up with this transliteration of this.
It's really hard, When I was 6, I had I was watching all my cousins read and write Bangla, and I said, "Can I just sit and watch them?" And so I sat and I watched them and I learned how to write and read a little bit. And when I came back to England, I bought all the books and I tried and I learned myself. So I have a little bit of Bangla.
Do you know the people, the 5 people that died for the Bangla language? Do you know the names?
I don't know.
No, I can't remember. I know some of the names, but I can't remember if you told me
Go
now.
on, Brother Nazir. Go and tell us.
No, no. Yahya Bhai has memorized it, and he goes to sleep every night reciting the names.
Yes.
So go for it.
No, I have not even asked that question. You're the one. I know a few
So
of
you
them.
keep saying Salim Jabbar and all the others.
Okay, yes, Salam, Jabbar, Rafiq, Borkot, and I forgot the 5th person basically. But these are, to be honest with you, they're not the only ones. But these few gentlemen, they were actually killed because of protesting for the right to speak and read and write Bangla as a language by people of, if you like, the then East Pakistan, which it was known for. So to be honest, there are very few people and few communities and few countries and nations that have actually died for a cause, which is the language cause. And Bangladeshis are probably one of the very few actually to have died and gave their blood and sacrifice for the language, amongst few other things. So yes, Salam, Jabbar, Rafiq, Barkat are, Allah have mercy on them and accept their goodness, inshallah, have contributed to what we have. So whatever Bangla level that we have, they are a cornerstone and part of that. Though the Bangla language is very, very old because it's connected to Sanskrit, which is probably the oldest language and script on earth, to be honest, if not the second oldest. So yeah, it's a very important part of all of our heritage. I think the Bangladesh Heritage Tour gives opportunity and exposure to these kind of stories and narratives and roots, if you like. And often what happens, a lot of the British Bangladeshis are from Sylhet. So what ends up happening is they're going to Heathrow Airport, they're going to Sylhet Airport, and then they're Nanabari and Bafurbari, and then they're just returning back. Whereas Bangladesh is made up of 64 districts, and each one is a beauty in itself. And to be honest with you, a lot of Sylhetis, I have to say, I have not even seen the whole of Sylhet and Greater Sylhet, if you like, made up of 3 other districts of Molavi Bazar, Hobby Ganj, as well as Sunam Ganj. A lot of people have not even been to all the quote unquote unions or administrative areas of their own Thana. So if you say you're in Balaganj, I could easily ask, have you been to all the unions of Balaganj? Most people will say no. So I think it's our opportunity as British Bangladeshis to open that window and door to our future, particularly the 3rd and 4th generation, by taking the lead. And I think, inshallah, the work that BRT UK has done, and inshallah will continue through the Global Development Foundation, will inshallah facilitate 3rd, 4th generations who will inshallah take this course to the next level.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, wow, time's just flown past. Unfortunately, we're towards the very, very last few seconds and minutes of the show. There's a few things that we need to do before we'll speak to our guests and ask them exactly what they're expecting from our audience and how to get involved with them. Now, we've had actually 3 winners, 3 correct winners of Crack the Code Challenge. However, the rules are there's only one prize. So whoever answered it correctly first will be the winner of the red velvet cheesecake. So the first and foremost, the Crack the Code answers are, the first question is melon, second question is Achilles, third question is New York, fourth answer is yen, and then it's ruby, and then epsilon, and the famous footballer is the Brazilian Neymar, a brilliant player, probably the 3rd best in the world, and the winner is Aisha
Siddiqa. Yes, mashallah, well done, sister.
Congratulations to Aisha Siddiqa for being the first to answer the questions correctly and winning. Please do get in touch with us on bideshivibes@gmail.com. We'll give information on how to claim your velvet cheesecake. And also, we apologize to the other 2 winners who answered the questions correctly, but unfortunately, their timing was just slightly behind Aisha. So she has to get in touch with us at bideshivibes@gmail.com, and we'll set up with you with the prize. The show's gone on now. Just before we leave you, starting with Sister Saleha, obviously you told us about yourself, about GDF. What exactly do you want everybody watching to do for Global Development Foundation and to get involved in next year? What are your hopes and aspirations for 2021 and from this particular show and the audience?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, everybody. We've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it, and I've learnt a lot. I think what I'd love for all your viewers, all the viewers, is to basically support us, join us on our journey, be part of this journey to create change in Bangladesh. You know, you've got an opportunity to see what we're like. You know, we really want to do good work. We really want to make an impact. So please join us in whichever way you can and support us so that we can do our work. Jazakallah khair.
Fantastic. Brother Islam?
I think it's really important that we engage with younger people, as has been mentioned several times in this broadcast. And one of the ways that we are hoping to do that is through being active on social media, through our website. But also, if I can very quickly, we were thinking about a project where we take the idea of charity beginning at home and give it a different twist and actually get people to raise money at home, get children involved. And we are thinking about projects that involve children at home and in school here, connecting with possibly children and schools in Bangladesh. So something we'll be developing a bit more, and inshallah, in due time, the information will be up on our website. But if in the meantime anybody wants to get involved, if you want to know more about what we're doing, our email address and a WhatsApp number is on the screen. So please do get in touch with us and get involved. We need all the help we can get, and we're all, just because there are a few of us on screen now doesn't mean we're the only one who are doing this work. We need everybody to get involved and help and help make the lives of people in Bangladesh better, inshallah.
Sounds brilliant. And Sister Anjuma, a message from you?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having us on the show. Again, I've learned a lot about my culture. But I just want to say to the viewers, a majority of you are British Bangladeshis, and we do need your support, because this is a Sadaqah Jariyah for myself, for my children, for their children. I want to leave this behind. So support us however way you can, whether it's volunteering, donating on a monthly basis, little as £2 per month, or even just join our mailing list, and you can drop us an email at info@gdffoundation.org.uk. Thank you.
Fantastic. Brother Nazir, a message from you, sir.
Yes, we want everyone to come on board with this journey. It's not the beginning and it's not the end. It's just a continuation of what happened 10 years ago. So inshallah, we want, without the donor participation, this charity is nothing. So we do recognize our donors, and we want to bring donors on board and take ideas of donors, and inshallah we can expand further.
Sounds great. Brother Yahya, a message from you to our watching audience regarding GDF.
Thank you. First and foremost, big thank you to BRT UK, which is from Bishnath Regeneration Trust to Bangladesh Regeneration Trust to now, alhamdulillah, going forwards, onward and upwards is Global Development Foundation, dedicated for the work in Bangladesh, as well as to work with the Bangladeshi community here and some of their needs. So bringing those two issues together to make their mark, inshallah, with not only second but third, fourth generations. I look forward to not only the opportunity but to be able to be a contributor and to make my own mark in the sight of Allah and with the people of Bangladesh. And I would just want to show people, the reason, my passion with Bangladesh comes from this man here. If you see the man in the middle with the beard, if you like, this is my late uncle, my Boro Sasa, who older than my father, of course. So he was the anchor of my family, rahimahullah, rahmatan wasi'atan. And to be honest with you, I grew up with him for 9 years of my life, and I miss him so dearly. It's the reason that he's connected to me to Bangladesh so much. In what I said to myself, that any good that I will try to do with my life is a means of Sadaqah Jariyah for all of my ancestors, and in particular, of course, my father, but even more for me, I feel, for my late uncle, who really connected me up my heritage. And I'm honored and privileged for the little that I have done, and I look forward to inspiring others to be able to do more. By inspiring others,
I think we may have lost him technically. Such a very beautiful message there from Brother Yahya, and very inspirational, actually, every single message there. Now, you've been watching fb.com/Bideshi Vibes.
thank you so much.
Oh, you still continued. Wow, that was some long message. I'm so sorry we missed most of it, but that is brilliant. Now, you're watching fb.com/Bideshi Vibes. Now, thank you very much for tuning in. What did we learn today? We met Global Development Foundation. Anything starts from the people at the lead in charge and leading the operation. I think we met three very beautiful people, very generous with their time, very talented, hugely experienced, and very innovative. And what they told us about Global Development Foundation is going to be very flexible, very pragmatic, very dynamic, and also they will be very innovative as well, and very creative with their projects, dedicated specifically to obviously Bangladesh as well. But hopefully in the future they will look into UK and also other international projects as well. But it's the people that you buy into, and I think what we've met the three people today, and you cannot tell me that they are not decent people who will do a very, very good job with whatever you donate. I mean, it's very, very important that with COVID now as well, that we all get involved. We find a charity of choice that we are supporters of, almost like a football club, become tribal about it. We at Bideshi Vibes are very tribal about Global Development Foundation, simply because we're part of the previous heritage and legacy as well. So we will be completely biased, and we're huge supporters of GDF as well. What I would recommend, you love football clubs, why don't you find a charity, okay, that you truly support on every single cause that they do? You fall in love with the people, you fall in love with the projects they do. Set up regular monthly, yearly, quarterly, annual donate, regular direct debit standing orders, because the more the more they can have regular contributions in, the more they can develop and support. And I think we'll be hearing a lot more of Sister Saleha, Brother Islam, and Sister Anjuma and Global Development Foundation in the charity world, in the charity space, moving into 2021. It's been a very, very difficult, challenging year. Thank you so much for joining us. You're watching fb.com/Bideshi Vibes. If you like what we do, please like, share, tweet, refer. And 5 days to Christmas. Have a good day off. Enjoy the week, and we will see you next time. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.